All right, on our last video about perimeter, we talked about how perimeter was the measurement of the outside of a 2D shape, kind of represented by this picture right here. So we found the length and we found the width, and we added those together to give us the distance around the outside of the shape. Today we're going to add on to that by learning about something called the area, okay? The area of a shape. So if we look back up here at this shape, if the perimeter is the outside of the shape, the area is the space taken up by the inside, or on the inside. So we might say the area is the space on the inside of a shape. And once again, for these examples, we're going to be using the shape of a rectangle because that will be usually the first shape that you encounter when you start practicing your perimeter and area problems and discovering how to solve those. So just like with perimeter, when we had a formula, which was length plus plus width, we also have a formula for area. And the formula to solve an area problem is area equals length times the width. So in perimeter we had plus, in area we have multiplication. And let's see why that is. So let's look over at our rectangle right here. Okay, so we have a rectangle. And we wanted to know what is the space inside of this rectangle. Okay, well, usually we measure these units in something like, well, let's say units squared. Okay, so let's say that we're going to measure these. Say these are inches. So this would be 1 inch, 2 inches, 3 inches, 4 inches, 5 inches, 6 inches, 7 inches, 8 inches, 9 inches, 10 inches, 11 inches, and 12 inches. And I said, well, how much space is taken up by the inside of this shape, this rectangle? Well, you can see there's 12 of them. So we would see the area for this shape is 12 inches squared. Okay? That's perfectly fine to do it that way. You can count individually every single square to get the inside area. But you should also be able to see something here. There should be something that also stands out. And that is, if we count this length, how many inches do we have? Well, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. So we would say the length of this side is 4 inches. And then let's count the width. Okay, well, we have 1, 2, 3. We have 3 inches. And you should notice what happens, because we said, once again, we said area is the length times the width. So what happens when we multiply 4 times 3? Well, you should notice that that gives us an answer of 12, which is exactly what we had right here. 12 inches squared. Okay, so this is why it's really important to know this formula. Because I would rather be able to do this multiplication than have to count every single square inside of whatever shape you may be measuring. Okay, so now that we know that area is length times width, let's solve a couple area problems to get a little bit of practice. Okay, so our directions say find the area of each rectangle. So number 1, we have 5 inches for width. Whoops, let's get on the right layer. We have 5 inches for the width. We have 7 inches for the length. Okay, well we know, remember, let's write it down. Area equals the length times the width. Alright, so our length is, for number 1, 7, and we're going to multiply that by the width, which is 5. What is 7 times 5? That's going to be 35. So our answer is 35 inches squared. Okay, well let's do number 2. Our width is 3. Our length is 6. Okay, well, so number 2 is going to be 6 times 3, which is 18. So our area is 18 feet squared. And I think you can kind of see how you find the measurement or the space taken up on the inside by a shape, okay? Let's keep going a little bit faster now. Area is length times width, so this is going to be area equals 8 times 4, which is 32. So our area is 32 yards squared. Let's get a new color. 9 times 6. Okay. Area is going to be 9 times 6, which is going to give us 54 feet squared. Area is going to be 10 times 3, which is going to give us 30 yards squared. And last but not least, area is going to be 9 times 5, which is going to give us 45 inches squared. Okay, it's really that straightforward, learners. Area is the length times the width, with your length being, so L being the long side, and width being the short side. Okay. Practice these area problems until you get really comfortable with figuring out the length or the area of a problem. And as always, happy learning, and I'll see you in the next video.